Hello everyone, I am Dr. Simarpreet Singh. In this video, I will be demonstrating how we can install Linux on Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager. In my previous video, you have gone through how we are able to install the Oracle VMware VirtualBox Manager. So after installation, after successful launch, this is the window which we are able to see. So to begin with the installation of Ubuntu Linux, we click on New. After clicking on New, a dialog box appears in front of us. In this dialog box, it is asking for name, machine folder, type and version. So name, we can give any name as I am giving the name as LAMP. Machine folder, it is asking for the folder on our hard disk where it will be keeping all the files related to this virtual machine. By default, the machine folder it uses is C drives, users and your username followed by virtual box VMs. I am keeping this as the default folder. If you want to change, you can click on this arrow and select the other, and then you can select the customized folder. For the demonstration, I will be keeping this folder as a default folder. Then the next is type. Since I am going to install Linux, so I will be selecting the Linux over here. You can select Mac OS if you are interested to go with the Mac installation. But for this demonstration, I am going to install Ubuntu Linux, which is a type Linux. So I will be selecting the Linux as the type. So version, it selects the first version, but I am going to install Ubuntu Linux, so I will be selecting Ubuntu. And in Ubuntu, I am having two versions, 32-bit and 64-bit. My as ISO file which I have downloaded, it is of 64-bit, so I will be selecting Ubuntu 64-bit. So these are the four parameters, the configurations that you need to pursue. And after doing these all four configurations, click on next to move on to the next screen. So after clicking on the next, it is asking for the memory size. Select the memory size, the RAM you want to give to this Linux system. So I am selecting as 4096. This size is in MB, which computes out to be 4 GB of the RAM. After selecting the memory size, make sure you give the allocated memory size in your green region. Avoid giving the size in the red region. After allocating the memory size, click on next. And it is asking for the hard disk. Since presently I am installing this for the very first time, I do not have any virtual hard disk now. So I need to create a virtual hard disk now. So I select that particular option and move on with the create. On clicking on the create button, I receive the file type dialog box where I need to select one file type out of the three available file types. So I will be moving up with the VDI, that is VirtualBox disk image, and clicking on next. It is asking for the storage on physical hard disk. So I will be moving on with the dynamically allocated and clicking on next. So it is asking for the path where my virtual hard drive will be located. So I am keeping this path as my default path, and it is asking for the size of the hard disk, how much size my virtual hard disk will be allotted. Minimum recommended is 10 GB. So I will be installing further few softwares onto this hard drive. So I will be increasing the size as 20 GB and clicking on create. After all these configurations, I am able to see one entry over here on the left hand side of VM VirtualBox Manager named as lamp, which the name I gave during the configuration, with the detailed configuration on the right hand side of this page.